Hello and welcome to this new tutorial. In this video, we are going to set up environment variables for .NET Console application. So I have Visual Studio here open. So I'm going to File, then New, then Project. I'm going to choose a console application. Then click Next. I'm going to give it name like simple console app. And then next, I'm going to choose .NET 8, which is the latest. Now create. The console app has been created. I can see the program.cs file with a console write line hello world. Next, I'm going to create three profiles: staging, development, and production. For that, I'm going here and then debug properties. By default, I will see that I have one profile. I will rename this to development, and then I will copy the same profile and make it staging, rename that to staging. Then same thing again, I will copy the same profile and then rename it to production. So for development, I will just go to the environment variables and then provide a name and a value. For the name, I will choose runtime environment. And then for the value, I will put a value of development. Same thing for staging. I will go to the environment variables. Name is going to be the same, runtime environment. Value is staging. Then for production, going to be again same thing for the environment variables. Production. Perfect. So we have created three profiles: development, staging, and production. We can close the window and then we can see that we have properties folder with length settings.json. It has three profiles that we have created: development, staging, and production. Each profile has a command name, which is project, and then it has an environment variables JSON object with a runtime property with a value of development for development and value of staging for staging profile, and environment production value for production. You can see here that we have WSL profile. We don't need that here, so I'm going to remove that. Now we have only three profile: development, staging, and production. Next, I'm going to create appsettings.json file for each profiles, one for development, another for staging, then another one for production. To do that, I will do a right click on the project, then add new item. Then I will look up for JSON extension, then select JSON configuration file and name that to appsettings.development.json. We'll add this, we'll remove this from here, and then I will copy this file and rename it to staging and development. So copy, paste this one, rename it to staging. Then the same thing for production. Now we have three files: development.json, production.json, and staging.json. Another file that I'm going to add is just appsettings.json. This file is going to have all the common values that we need to see across all the profiles. They will not be changed even if we change the development or staging or production. So to do that, I will add another appsettings file that is going to have the static value. Then here I'm going to call that appsettings.json. Perfect. Now we have four files: appsettings.json, which is going to have the common values that we are going to see across all the environment or profiles. And then we have another appsettings.development.json that it will be specifically for development, another one for production, it will be specific for production, and then another one for staging, it will be specific for staging. I will go to appsettings.json. I will put some common values here, which is, for example, app name, and then I will give it a name which is like simple app console and then maybe I will add another value here, like a provider name. Then I will use like MS provider, for example. Then I will go to the development.json file, and then here I will specify the connection string that I need for development profile or environment. For that, I will do a connection strings JSON object, and then here I will specify the name of the connection that I need to have. For this demo, I will just specify by phrase what the environment that I need to see. I will do this is connection string for development, and then I will do the same thing for staging production. For production, I will just paste this and name this production. Then same thing for staging. Close all that, perfect. Now we have 3 files, one for each profile, and then we have appsettings.json that has a common value that we need to see across all the environments. Next, I'm going to create a settings class that's going to have all the JSON files properties. So for that, I'm going to do a right click and then new, then go to code class and then settings. So this class is going to have all the JSON files properties. For example, if I go to the app settings.json, I have two properties, app name and provider name. And then if I go to one of these environment.json files, I can see that I have a connection strings JSON object with a property dbbox. I need to represent that also in the settings class. Okay, so to do that, I will do create a property here, going to be type string. Then it's going to have the name of the property here, the app name. So same thing, I'm going to copy this provider name, here the provider name, and here if I go to development.json, I have a connection strings JSON object with a property. For that, I will copy that, and then I will create a class for that because this is an object. Okay, public class, and then it has a property dbbox. Okay, if I go here, then this is gonna type string here dbbox. So with that in place, our settings.cs class is representing all the appsettings.json files, including the one with the environments like development, production, and staging. Next, I'm going to install two Nugget packages. So I will go to the project and then manage Nugget packages. Then I will browse for configuration.json. Then I will choose Microsoft extensions configuration.json. I will install the latest. So it's installed with its green mark. I will need to look up for another Nugget package, which is environment. This is the Nugget package, Microsoft extension configuration environment variables. So I will install the latest stable version of this package. Yeah, the package has been installed, so I will close the Nugget manager. So with that in place, I'm going to create another class. I will call it configuration. So in this class, I'm going to use some code to know where I am as environment. So if I am on development, I need to know that I am in environment that is development. So for that, I'm going to create a method. It's going to be static, public static method is going to return a settings object, which is the class that we have created earlier. And then I'm going to call the method build app settings. So this is going to return an object of type settings. So like this. So to know that we are in which environment that we are in, so we need to use some code to know that. So that's why we install two packages for environment variables. So I will go and do environment configuration variable. Is going to take a configuration builder, and then I will add environment variables method, and then I will do a build for that. So that will help us to know which environment we are in. So I will do another variable, environment. Then I will use the environment configuration. Then I will need to pass the string that we defined earlier in the profiles. If I go to landsettings.json, you will see that environment variables has a property. It's called runtime. So for runtime environment, I will copy that and then paste that over here. And then I will need to check if this is working correctly or not. So I will pass the environment here to know where I am exactly, if I am in development staging or production. I will call this method in program.cs file. So I will go here and then I will remove all that over here and I will do configuration, which is the name of the class that I just created. Then the name of the method, which is the build settings. So that's all. I need to just run the development and see if I am on development. It should print development if I am on the development environment. So here we go. I can see that I am on development. It prints that I am in development. If I change that to a different environment, so I need to change the profile to different environment. Let's say staging. I will run staging. Then I see that I am on staging. Same thing for production, run production. I see here that I have production over here, which means I am in production. So that's perfect. I am getting the environment from the profiles. I will go back to the configuration method and continue with the app settings files. So another thing that I need to do is to create another variable. It's called configuration. This variable is going to have the configuration based on which environment we are in. So those configuration will come from the app settings.json and app settings.environment.json, which is development, production, and staging. So let's do that. Again, it's going to be configuration builder, and then going to be here add JSON file. In this JSON file, I'm going to add this JSON file over here, which is the file that has the data that is going to be static. It's not going to be changed. It's going to be common through all the environment. And then here is taking another parameters, which is a Boolean, which is optional. It's not going to be an optional. I'm going to do false here. And then is asking if we need to reload that on change. I will say false, because this file needs to be static, has everything on it. So we're going to use it once and then build. What I'm going to add here, I'm going to add another add JSON file method, which is going to have the environment that I just grabbed here. So I will come here, dot, and then put the environment over here. So I will remove the console write line over here. And then here, each time when I change the environment, it's going to call that file appsettings dot the environment production.json. If I go to development, it's going to be appsettings.development.json. Here I will need to put this to true, because I need to reload that each time we have that um, profile has been changed. Okay, so now let's see what we can do with this. So we are going to use this configuration over here. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to create another variable called settings. I'm going to return this variables over here, and then I'm going to fill out this object with the values that are coming from the appsettings.json and appsettings.environment.json based on which environment we are in. So I'm going to do here, I'm going just to grab the app name, then configuration, and then the name of that. Here we go. Then here is going to be provider name, and then exactly here is going to be a provider name. As you can see here, when I do this, I'm looking for connection string. Is it not there? The reason because we haven't defined that in here inside of the settings class. We create the class, but we haven't yet put that in the settings class. So let's put this in here. Perfect. Now if I go back to configuration, I can just find it fine. So let's do comma here, and then come over here, connection string, then equals to connection strings. Gonna be a new connection string here, and then db box. Then we are going to use this configuration to grab the db box value from it, get connection string. Then we need to pass the name of that connection string that we need to use by referencing the name of it, which is the db box. So if we go here, you can see that this is the db box property name that has this value. Again, if I go back to the configuration, you can see here that this appsettings.json, it's going to change based on the environment that we have passing here. So now I think we are good to go, but let's just run this program and see what happens. So the method is already here, so but we need to grab these variables var settings. So for settings, we are going to go to app name, print that there, and then the provider name, and then the connection string dot db box. Perfect. So here for nullable. With that in place, so we can run the application. Let's choose production, for example, and see if we are able to see the connection string for production. So as we can see here, it throws an issue here or an error. Let's see why this error over here. So this error was expected. The reason why it was expected because it doesn't find the appsettings.json file in this path over here. So what we need to do to fix this, you just need to click on the simple console app project, and then we need to create an item group. Over here, I'm looking for the item group. And then inside of item group, so we need to have another property which has known, and then it has another attributes update. And inside of this, we need to specify the name of that file, which is appsettings.json. development.json. Also inside here, we need to do like copy to output directory and then preserve the newest. We need to do same thing for others. So we are going to copy these. So we need to do the same thing for development. And another thing here for staging. And same thing for production. So with that in place, so I think we fixed that. So let's try again. Here we go. So we can see that we're able to get the configuration from the appsettings.json, which its configuration is static, doesn't change. It is the same across all the environment. We're going to see that. And this is the connection string from production. We are in production. So let's change that to staging and run that again. So here we go. We have same values over here and this connection from staging. We are on staging, so we're able to grab the configuration from staging app settings.json file when we change the profile to staging. Again, for the development, run this again. Perfect. Again, we can see that the simple app console and MS provider are the values that going to be the same across all the environment, and this connection string for development is specific for that specific environment, which is development here, and we were able to grab development from the development.json file. That's all. Thank you for watching and see you in other videos.